there's two types of entrepreneurs. There are those that are visionaries and there are those who are integrators. And all billion-dollar companies, those inspirational names that we are, brands that we know, all started with a visionary and an integrator, someone who had a big dream and someone who got shit done. And we look at
Jobs, Wozniak, yeah.
Exactly.
Welcome to Marketing with Vino, the edutainment business growth podcast, mixing education and entertainment to make growing your service business much more fun. Your hosts, Quinton Venter, online marketing expert, and Gabby Kowalski, creator of the Business Freedom Formula, have a glass of wine and share powerful and up-to-date strategies to help grow your service business fast.
Hey guys, another amazing episode, Marketing with Vino. With us is the amazing Gabs. Gabs, welcome.
Hello, gorgeous Quinton. Hello, awesome humans. We got something so special to talk about. This honestly is, I believe, so simple, but also so eloquent and so powerful. I believe this is the number one secret behind why people achieve phenomenal success or not. And it is tuning in and asking yourself a question. Do I have a burning desire? Do I have an obsession around the goal that I'm currently going after? So if you're building a business and you've got this vision or you've got this idea to take your business to a certain level and it looks a certain way and it's got this amount of money coming through and this kind of team and this kind of clients and these kind of products and however you see it, right? Tune in and ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being burning desire, like you can't stop thinking about it. You wake up at 2 a.m. with ideas. You literally like thinking about this and doing work on this doesn't even feel like work. Burning desire.
And
it's
also
fun, kind of burning desire.
Consistently, not just for 24 hours you can't sleep and you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's something that's on your mind consistently. You won't stop until you get there. That's a number 10. I want to put in there consistently.
Exactly. This isn't, like 3 days a week. This is you. Like you've got an authentic burning desire. You're obsessed. This is what you want. You live and breathe it. Now, I'm not talking 24/7. Of course, you're allowed to go to the toilet. Of course, you're allowed to eat. Of course, you're allowed to have friends.
Only for 5 minutes a day.
But only for 5 minutes. No. What I'm actually saying is, I've noticed for myself that whenever in life I had a burning desire for something, I always achieved it. And the times where I was like, yeah, that would be cool, hit and miss,
Absolutely.
like totally hit and miss. And it got me curious. It got me sort of looking at, what is it that makes up this fundamental sort of difference? Because everyone I know that has achieved phenomenal things, there was an obsession behind it. There was something driving it where that person literally had like horse flaps on. They were focused, so focused. They would learn what they needed to learn. But there was two things I found that the obsessed person does differently to the non-obsessed person, and I know Quinton has got his own version of this. We're going to give you some like total cool insights into how to build obsession, but also to tune in, is this your truth? Yeah. And Quinton's got an amazing story to share with you around like when you do find your truth and releasing and surrendering to what the truth is for you, because sometimes we go after goals that just aren't ours. And I look at the world and I see that there's businesses failing. And I know one of the reasons they fail is because they don't have a burning desire for it. They didn't build it up. They didn't maintain the desire, the obsession around why they wanted what they wanted. Two, to be honest with you, some of them just never should have been in business.
Yeah.
It was the wrong vehicle to achieve their dreams. They thought business meant X, but when they found out it was Y, it just wasn't their truth, right? And it was about finding something else. So to me, everything I've ever really desired, there's something different that happens. And here's the things that happen. I am inspired to learn about that topic. I literally find that I want to consume, and it's weird, but it's like I find stuff. Like as soon as I've got a topic in mind, it's like I'm on Facebook. Bang, exactly what I was wanting to happen is there. You know what I mean by this, Quinton. It's like all
Absolutely.
of a sudden someone's content video is exactly the message I needed to hear, It's like this weird synchronicity. I find myself listening. Like yesterday, I went on this big 2-hour drive there and back to my kinesiologist, and I literally smashed out a whole course on audio. It was a 2-hour course. But
I love that
find
you're
myself,
driving 2 hours to get a certain specific service from a specific person. That says a lot, but that's another conversation.
and once again, right, obsession, burning desire.
Yeah.
I found it's the same thing, right? And so to me, I'm like, whenever this goes on, to me, it doesn't even feel like I'm doing anything. To me, it's just normal. To me, it's like brushing my teeth. Because I'm naturally inspired to action. I believe that when we've got a burning desire and we're obsessed about something, the being of that vibes at a frequency that calls us to action. Yeah? Whereas if we don't have step one, if we're like, oh yeah, that would be cool, So for example, I do not have a burning desire to have an 8-pack, I don't.
Yeah.
I definitely have a burning desire to feel comfortable in my own body and to feel beautiful as a woman, but I do not have a burning desire to have an 8-pack and be like a muscle woman, right? Yeah. And so as a result, I don't.
Well, Gabs, can we explore that a little bit deeper in terms of your burning desire to raise the vibration of the world? How did you discover your burning desire? Where did that come from? Like, I know we've covered your story, your backstory in many other episodes, but where did that burning desire come from, and why is that there?
Yeah, it's funny, right? But see, when I actually tune into this, it's my why and my passion and my purpose has grown, and I swear I do work on this all the time, and it's constantly elevating.
Yeah.
So I tune in and have these conversations with myself a lot, and there's an evolution. However, when I actually look back at my whole entire life, ever since I was a kid, right, there's been a fundamental truth to me. I've always, always, always loved helping people. Whenever I saw someone who, even to the point of, I just had this thing in me where I wanted to make people happy.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was this happy kid, and they used to, this won't make any sense because it was in Polish, and there's a cute name for it, but they used to actually call me bread crust, and it means something, but it's basically the crust on the end of the bread. What that meant was I'd stick to the end of people and give them cuddles, and there was just something about me as a kid that I just wanted to make people happy. If I saw anyone sad, if I saw anyone vibing at a low frequency, that would be my priority, would be to go and help. Yeah. And I'm talking from the age of 3 or something, the stories come back to me on this stuff.
That's so cool. It's like all those things, your entire life led up to this moment right now. And I guess it's true, if I reflect back on my childhood, there was a big shift at a point in time when I was in Holland. But ever since having that shift and the change that happened in me, is who I was consistently from that time onwards. It was that I was viewing the world from abundance and amazingness, and there's so much, and why wouldn't you be happy? There's so much to smile about, that everyone that I was around, I made it a certain point that I wanted to influence them. I wanted to make them see what I could see. And it's no different than that. It's what was in the past. It's led up to this moment right here, right now, that your truth. It's nice to know that is how you're online with where you are now. It's very cool.
Yeah. Isn't it? So when you tune into that stuff, so to me, I can see how this has been growing and evolve, and I can actually see the evolution, and the evolution in my own leadership around it. When I was younger, I would help anyone and they didn't have to ask me, and to the point of they didn't ask me and I shouldn't have even helped them. Some people are happy in their misery, I learned later on. Leave them alone, right? Yeah. And I'd be giving people advice in primary school. I'd be like, yeah, you could do this, you could do that. It's like, my God, right? And so to me, it was the evolution. And then there was all these other things that happened. My first business was a theatre company. I made $20 in my first year. I profited. At least I didn't go backwards, right?
That's more than a lot of people.
Yeah, right. And this was straight out of uni, and my vision was to have a traveling theatre company where we used the classic. I literally wrote screenplay. I'm sorry, not screenplays, plays. And I rewrote classics to really pull out the soul and essence and morals and values and whatnot in children. My vision was to help elevate children, but it was all once again raising the vibration in kids and elevating them. Then it shifted into, can you see what I mean? Like when you actually look, the vision's always been there. The mission's always been there. It's just now I found a way to articulate it in a way where it sounds good, you know.
Yeah. You can now start to tell other people about it.
Yeah, right. So to me, that's that. Like when I really tune in, I still remember, like in my early days of business, listening to Tony Robbins in my car as I was driving to an appointment, and him sharing a story of how amazing it felt to know he was making a profound difference, that a woman had come up to him at a book signing and said, "Tony, thank you so much. My life was completely like at a flat and I'd lost my, like it was one of those sad stories where she was jobless and had lost her, you know, her family, and like total, like nothing to look forward to story.
Yeah.
Nothing, her health, every area of life was crap, right? And she had purchased his book, read it, and implemented what it said, and it transformed her whole life.
Wow. And
she was standing there crying and saying thank you. And I remember I'm driving along and I'm listening to Tony share these stories about people coming up to him and saying, you know, you transformed my life this way and that way. And I literally started to cry in my car. And I remember feeling, I want to do that. I want to do that in the world. I want to help people feel amazing and really enjoy life. And I remember telling myself, when I earn my right, when I succeed in my own life, when I take this business to a phenomenal level, then I'm going to show other people how to do it. I made that decision years before I launched my business that I do now. Like it was definitive. And then I was obsessed with creating phenomenal results. And I was obsessed. Like I literally studied everything I could around sales, money, mindset. Like I was just on average spending about 2 to 4 hours a day consuming information and implementing, and you know, having coaches and mentors and kinesiologists and dealing with my own limiting beliefs and breaking through it and changing. Because here, to me, number two, what the difference between someone who actually achieves phenomenal results and makes their dreams come true is, one, burning desire and obsession. And that means you're going to learn. You're just naturally going to be driven and inspired to do whatever it takes to become that version of yourself. In inquiring the what and the how, right?
Yeah.
But number two, to me, is massive, because not everyone has number two for whatever reason. It's a whole other pillar, and that's a willingness to change, a willingness to grow.
I think that is a big one. The fact that there's a willingness behind it, that's almost even bigger than number one. But yeah, it's massive.
And without both of them, I honestly don't believe people acquire what they want. You know, so to me, I know that I've had goals in my life, and some of them, the gap from where I started to where I wanted to be was so big, but my obsession with acquiring the result kept me there, where I literally, you know, I'd change and there'd be like so many things to change, so many things. Like I remember when I'd gotten myself to a really bad physical condition after not honoring my health and just putting all my energy into business, and I bought into the bullshit message of hustle, which I'm so anti on now. But anywho, at that point there was so much going wrong, so much going wrong that, you know, there was lots of things to do, lots of things to shift, lots of little like micro projects to actually change in my lifestyle in order for me to get the result, right? And it took time. Not everyone has the endurance, the stamina, the commitment to keep going. And sometimes in life we take 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. Like I still remember, I'd be like, okay, I'm quitting sugar. And I'd quit sugar and I wouldn't have any sugar for like 5 weeks. And then I'd binge out on cookies. I'd be like, friggin' hell, and then back we go, quit sugar again, right? But you know what I mean? Like these are the things that when we're becoming a different version of ourselves, when we're actually growing into the person who thinks and feels and does what we need to do in order to have the results at the next level, it's not always a beautiful, you know, journey. It usually looks a bit more squiggly, right?
And it goes back and it goes this and Up and down, yeah.
And oh shit! And sometimes, right? Have you noticed this? Sometimes you think, like when it comes to say limiting beliefs or blocks, right? You think, oh, something pops up at a next level of business, like you'll hit another level of business, and all of a sudden, this block that you swore you got rid of 2 years ago,
It already
back again.
resurfaced. Yeah.
It's back in some other form, right? And there's a deeper level of growth. There's a deeper level of change.
Yeah.
And so to me, if you're not willing to change, because there's people out there who have a burning desire and will go to every seminar and read all these books, and they're content junkies. They consume content, but they've got a block around change. They've got a block around becoming a different version.
Yeah.
They don't want to do the work around change. And if you've got a block around change, you don't feel safe to change, or there's certainty issues, or you've got like some weird relationship going on with yourself around that, then you're blocked. And to me, it's that. How willing are you? So if you're a 10 out of 10 on desire, what are you on change? Because guess what? If you're a low amount, like if your number's low on change, then you've actually, you failed the whole test. It's not just have a burning desire and be obsessed. It's also how willing are you to change. And if you're not willing to change at a very high level, dude, go find another goal, find another dream,
Yeah. And you know what? Even on that, rather than going find another thing, it is you'll fall into it because it's already been true your entire life based on where you are right now. So most likely there will be a disconnect on what you say that you have a desire for and how much you really want that, and where you will end up. There will be a big disconnect, because if you know that this is a great opportunity to make a lot of money right now, which is short-term thinking, as opposed to what is your truth, what is your true north, like where are you actually going, what is the game that you're playing. And if you don't have that, then that's fine. It'll come all in great time. I mean, when I first started the whole learning around mindset and all of this, it was my very first NLP training back in 2011, and fascinating. It blew my mind away. At the time, I was just a store manager, and I was like, how can I utilize these tools that I've learned to help me grow my team and get more out of the team, build a better culture, and grow so forth. And without realizing, it evolved so quickly in, cool, I can do this and create a company. I can do this for other franchisors and other teams and leadership and this and that. And I'm going to be a millionaire. Like, really, like everyone needs to have what I have. Like this here, amazing stuff. Like you will throw dollar bills at me.
Oh, yeah.
But that just wasn't true. And I had to really go and find, like I knew that I wanted to help people. Like my passion was there. Like I had a clear why that's been ingrained for so long. But it was more so, am I really prepared to do what it takes to become that business owner, that business operator that is a millionaire, that's turning over $1 million per year? I wasn't that charactered. I wasn't there to be able to wanting to do what I had to do in order to receive that, if that makes sense. And it really, that is the journey been in. We're in 2017 now. Like that's 6 years in terms of developing continuous new lessons. And as you're saying, all things resurface again. It's how you deal with that, which has led me to be able to be part of a bigger team that is one of the best places to work at, that is all focused about culture. And it's just interesting how it's all worked out.
Can you see, because I'd love you to share this story around like your journey around, there was a burning desire for the why. Your why is still solid today, yet your journey around actually actualizing that why. See, to me, when we have a burning desire to achieve something, sometimes the vehicle we're using to get there is not actually the vehicle. That is the best vehicle. And I've got a few stories about clients on this, and I'd love you to share this, because I believe for you, when you look at the model, you had a burning desire and you were willing to change, and that's why you are where you are right now.
Absolutely.
And that's why the growth has come. So please share.
Yeah, absolutely. So the burning desire has always been to help change the world for the better, in terms of getting the people with an amazing voice, a message, to help them get and reach more people, to inspire and change people and so forth, the ripple effect. So therefore, I decided to use the vehicle of Facebook in a form of an agency. And the idea has always been to work for these people, these visionaries with this big thinking, to be able to help them get their message out there. And because I've had that adaptation, that those are the people that I wanted to work with, the vehicle has just slightly changed. The model has remained the reason why it's remained the same, but the model has changed, and it's led me now to be working with one of Australia's most influential characters, Naomi Simpson, and it's just amazing to be part of her culture, her team, and now being able to help her voice her message even beyond that. And what they do at Red Balloon and on a personal brand and so forth, it is phenomenal stuff, and it's all led me to be able to become the person who I needed to be, that ended me up here. And for me, I read this book called Rocket Fuel. I can't remember who wrote it, but look up Rocket Fuel, and the basic principle behind it is there's two types of entrepreneurs. There are those that are visionaries, and there are those who are integrators. And all billion-dollar companies, those inspirational names that we are, brands that we know, all started with a visionary and an integrator, someone who had a big dream and someone who got shit done. And we look at
Jobs, Wozniak, yeah.
Exactly. We look at them. We look at Henry Ford. He had his other, I can't remember who it was, but he had an integrator. Even Martin Luther King Jr., someone who was so great on wanting to change the world and equal rights. He even had an integrator that was able to make all of these changes happen. The Walt Disney and his brother. There's all of these different names that are big brands that come up, and they've all worked together in that way. And I've just recognized that my strength doesn't lie working in visionary space for too long. It actually drains me more, and I feel more comfortable just getting shit done and making things happen and being part of someone else's big vision that's in line with mine, that's still there to help change the world for the better, and work as their integrator so that they can build up their empire, their brand. And that has ultimately led me to where I am. And throughout that journey, one of the key things that I've learned, Gabs, is it's all about relationships. It is about who you are in a relationship, how you show up in uncertain times, how you show up to be there for the other person. That matters, and that has helped me build this character as to who I am today. That has helped me to be connected to so many influential people. And it's no different to how we've met. It's no different to how we've started working together. And there's so many other stories like that as well.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating to me that it's taken 6 years. Like, I thought 6 years ago that I'm going to be a millionaire, and I'm still a long shot from it. But the fact is, there's been an amazing journey that has allowed me to become that next version. I'm looking so forward to the next 10 years, because the next 6 months will be a massive shift again, and 12 months from now. And that is the journey of it. I'm so ready for that change, that my burning desire is up there to help those visionaries, that I'm still up here with the commitment level where it's like I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to help get that fulfilled. So David and I, he's an amazing visionary. He literally lives 5 to 10 years ahead of me, and that's where he plays. And it's just so funny, right?
I love it. He lives 5, 10 years in the future, and I'm here. Sometimes we have bad connection issues when we're on the phone, but it's all okay.
We get each other. We vibe. And it is just one of those things that he reached out to me one day from a whole year almost, where we were just hanging out together, or not together. We were just keeping in touch. That one time that I asked him for help with a specific client, and he gave me so much value. And that's just the whole thing that we've talked about in marketing with Vino. It is about giving value up front. He didn't charge me. He didn't say to me, give me your name and email address first or whatnot. He literally made time and gave me so much value that I turned around to him and said, dude, what you've given me is so valuable. How can I repay you? How much do you charge? I was willing to take, with little money that I had, I was like, how can I pay you? Like, if you charge me $1,000 an hour, I would pay you. And he literally turned around and he said, help me build Australia's biggest marketing agency. It's like, cool, let's talk. And that's when we sat down and to listen to him as a visionary, why he wants to do this. And we were asking each other questions. He was asking me, why do I want to help him build this? And how do we best work together? And it was literally, you keep playing visionary part, I'll keep playing integrator part, and together we're going to build Australia's biggest marketing agency. That is still true to this day. And with that, we've been fortunate to be able to partner up with different partners that's still going to allow us to build that up and all these different sets. And what a journey, Gabs. What a journey.
I love this. I really love this because it's a beautiful story of, to me, sometimes people get so fixated on how. And to me, if you're committed to why you want to do what you do, and you don't worry so much about the how, the more you fixate on the detail of really getting your thing to come true, the less you're open to actually seeing what's possible. And I know for you, right, when you came across the information about Visionary Integrator, you called that in. You attracted that information in order for you to have the aha moment, for you to find your next change, your next growth around, excuse me, having your dreams come true.
Absolutely.
You are living your dream. You're living your purpose. You're totally making a difference, changing, the game, helping people get their messages out there. It's all happening.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that, this is important to me. I also know, so I've literally just taken on a business partner for my finance brokerage, as you know, Kelly, our friend, and she's been working for me for a while. And Kelly's actually, yes, she can do visionary stuff, but she's actually an integrator at core. At core, she is an integrator. And we've been doing cool shit together for 5 years. She's been playing the integrator to my visionary for 5 years for free, right? Because we're best friends and it's just how it's rocked. She's been the support person. She's helped with, literally the amount of stuff over the years. It worked, and she was trying to grow her own business from a visionary space, and she was actually finding she was taxed. She found she wasn't happy in that model, and it was when she she never gave up. By the way, she never gave up on her why. We literally just rebranded Tricorp Finance, the finance brokerage, as I took her on as a partner, and we rebranded it with total new why statement, new vision, new mission, new values, new logo, new everything. And it's been injected and up-leveled, so it's beautifully meeting her purpose, my purpose, elevating it, changing the game, making a difference, raising the vibrational frequency inside of the finance and insurance world. But this is where, to me, it's so important. If people would actually stop and tune in, what am I really burning for? What's my true burning passion?
Yeah.
What is it what's the burn? What's the desire in here? Is it, am I focusing on a vehicle, or is there something greater than this? And to me, it's never give up on your why, but be open to changing the how. Be open to changing the vehicle.
Yeah.
Some people get stuck in the wrong vehicle for so long because they're stubborn,
Yeah, absolutely. I also think, to add to that, Gabs, it's, as you were mentioning, the change that happens, it's to be open to that change. It's to accept that change. It's to accept the opportunity, to be not only open to the opportunity, but to accept the opportunity as well, if that is still going to help you get to where you eventually want to be. I believe we're all here on earth to fulfill a certain mission. Some of us know what that is, or some of us just act on it. Others have no clue, and that's totally fine. It is what it is. But if you have awareness around that, and if you know where you want to be in the next 10 to 20 or however many years we get to live on this planet, there's ultimately things are going to change. Technology changes. Things become easier. It's no longer that we need to go and plant our own crops, and go and gather them again and then produce it so that we can put bread on the plate. It is, we can just go to the supermarket, and that is to provide to the family. So things change how we do it, but it's to accept it and to utilize it along the way that's going to help you get there to where you want to be.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And this is where, that's another, to me, this is the other version of burning desire and obsession. when we have a burning desire and obsession with our why, with our vision, with our mission in business, we're actually a lot more flexible and we're able to adapt with time. If we're rigid and we're fixed, we tend to look what happened to Blockbuster and Netflix, for goodness sakes. If Blockbuster had actually tuned into having a vision around helping people be entertained, right?
Yeah.
Versus it's got to be this vehicle. Also when I look at other industries, there is change already happening. For so many businesses, they already are well in the back end of not catching up, that they should have shifted to being an online presence. Some of their products should already be getting sold online, and they're not doing that. They're still local based when they shouldn't be. They should actually already be trying to sell their stuff online. I know I've got clients who, one of my clients has a fashion boutique. She's had it for over a decade. She's definitely built success for herself. Now she's shifting into having an online shop and shifting around learning about this stuff in order for her to be able to reach a larger market, because she's aware that a big percentage of her clients literally disappeared and are now shopping online. The old way of buying has switched. And I think when we have a burning desire towards our why, our vision, we actually, we're more open and receptive to change, and we're cool to actually flow and grow in the whole thing. But if we're rigid, if we're fixed, if the burning desire is actually not there, we're not learning, we're not willing to change, we're asking for trouble when it comes to business.
Absolutely.
How much have you honestly grown in the last 5-6 years, Quinton?
I can't even tell you. I look back and it's not just grown physically, it's grown mentally, it's grown spiritually, it's grown sexually, it is grown professionally, it is grown intellectually. It's so many different areas of growth. And when I first started, it was literally diving deep. This area, that area, this area, that, and dive deep and implementing and trial and error and different mentors and seeing what works, what doesn't work, and trying this and failing at that. But it's the fact of the wanting. It's as you're saying, we have a burning desire and it's wanting to change above there as well. If I didn't have that, I would still be probably making pizzas for X amount of dollars per hour. Nothing wrong with that. It is, I wanted to step out of that. I wanted to pursue something bigger. It's been an amazing journey.
That's it. And so to me, there's a couple of tips I can give, because here's what I've also noticed, and I've actually got my clients doing this and I do this. So one of my mindset practices is I've actually got my whole, inside of my study, I've got my values, my why statement, my vision, inside the study, and I tune into it. I don't just read it, I feel it. So I'll actually tune in and I'll feel it. And I'll every time I do this, it builds up, it reminds me, it anchors, it's an emotional anchor. And it literally builds on the desire. And what I've found is there's something very special about this, that when we do this, when we tune into why on a very regular basis, there's something about our frequency that changes. There's something about our focus that changes. We don't seem to notice problem as much. Not that you should ignore problem, because that is not a good thing to do. You should definitely, address problems and deal with. Gee, that's right. Look at my author, yet at the same time, what I found is this is a powerful thing, because the desire raises. The other thing, for me, is I look at changing things consistently. So I've always got projects on, and I loved when you said every area of my life has changed. Because to me, around business is not just one area. If business owners just focus on business, money, marketing, sales, numbers, and they ignore relationships, they ignore health, they ignore their own spiritual growth, well, you can get results here, right? Often what will happen is you won't make it, because your health won't, you won't make it. But two, whenever we're growing, you can have a big breakthrough in relationships, and it will ripple out and impact your business. You can have a big breakthrough around health, and it will ripple out and impact your business. You can have a big breakthrough spiritually, and it will ripple out and impact your business. And I do believe that when we actually honor all of it, when we honor spiritual side of things, money, love, like relationships and health. And when we work to growing in all four areas and changing in all four areas, that's where things open up quite like largely. And that's where you look back and go, whoa. Because I don't know about you, I definitely don't want to be sitting on a pile of money all like riddled with cancer and no friends and family to have fun with.
Absolutely. Feel so lonely.
So thank you. That was awesome, Quinton. I really love that you shared that. And, guys, get it. Like, tune in, learn, build your desire. Wherever you are, whatever the gap is, build your desire around that. Or hire people, look at who could you put into your team. For some of you, if you're sitting here and you've gone, shit, I'm an integrator. I actually prefer doing shit than constantly coming up with ideas, driving vision, all of that kind of stuff. If that's your truth, start to think, well, maybe I could go into business with a visionary, start to think outside the box. If you're a visionary and you're doing it all alone and you're wondering why you're not getting enough done, dude,
Get an integrator.
Get a friggin' integrator. It's hard because the ideas are spewing out your head. And it's funny because with visionaries inside of my program, the first thing I do when I onboard a pure visionary, and I just did this, the awesome guy, like shout out, he's so beautiful. To Brad, shout out.
Shout out to Brad.
Shouting out to nobody here. But because he's such a high visionary, and it's not that he doesn't get shit done, he's also awesome at learning and change.
Yeah.
However, ideas spew out of his head, and for a lot of visionaries, they need support. So the first thing I do is I get my people to organize their projects, and I give them a Scrum board, and we have shared this in previous episodes, where they have to put all of their projects on this big board in the to-do basket. They have to literally move the project into doing. They're only allowed to have a limited amount of projects in doing. I monitor them, by the way. I totally monitor them until they build the muscle around this.
Yeah.
And they have to finish those projects, put them before they can move another project. And this trains them to all of their ideas get a place. So with visionaries, one of the things that F's them up and really F's them up is that they've got so many ideas that they're trying to do a bit on each one. And I don't care what you say. If you've got 122 tabs open on your computer, it's going to take a while for you to even remember where's what and what happened. And
Absolutely.
So but one of the reasons is that they don't want to not honor the idea. So this, having a board where you stick your ideas to it and they get honored one day, I will get to this as soon as I finish this other stuff, instantly soothes their soul. It's like, oh, you've got a home to live. Now that you've got a physical home to live, I'm a visual person. Visionaries are quite visual usually. Yeah. They can see it on the board. It instantly calms their nervous system. Like, oh, okay, my idea is good. It's safe.
It's done. It's complete.
It's there. It's massive for them. Two, the next thing I teach them is how to get people on board that can help them finish stuff. So from virtual assistants to whatever, just having a look at what they haven't finished, what they can't finish, and telling them you've got to get people to help you finish this, integrate this. It's not about you learning how to do all this detailed stuff. You're more a big picture person anyway. And this is key because sometimes people not knowing that they've got this specific program think they're broken. They think they're broken because they can't do something, and then they start to feel like losers and like they're failing. And no, you just please get it. There's all these energies that need to be at play in business. Yeah. There's all these hats that we need to wear, and some of those hats we should not be wearing. It's
the classic of someone who is great at business might suck at accounting. And accounting is one of those things that you don't want to suck out of in business. So you'd go and outsource it. You'd go and get an integrator to go and do that. And it's funny, from this book, there's actually per visionary, there's 4 integrators. So there's more of us as integrators than there are visionaries. And it shows every great business owner who's built an organization or any form of business, he has multiple people, several 100 people working for him. They're all integrators doing their specific thing that they are great at. And as they grow, they might step out, they might go somewhere else, whatever it may be. But there are a shitloads of integrators, and it's not necessarily that it's a bad thing. You can still be a own business owner and still be an integrator. It is all just, is it in line with your vision and your purpose? Are you still in line with your true north? Are you still going to get there at the end of the day? Is this just a little sidetrack, a different vehicle, whatever it may be? But if you're here doing something that you don't want to do because it's simply, your soul is simply dying, you might want to look at something else. And if it means that you are a visionary and you struggle to getting shit done, go and get an integrator. Are you an integrator who struggles to keeping ahead of where you want to go and you're constantly changing tack? That's simply what I was doing. I was like, cool, we go there. Halfway through, I'm like, cool, we go there. And there wasn't a visionary. I was just like, no, we are going there. So now that I have that, I can just get shit done. But it was also...
And how good do you feel now, honestly? How good does it feel not to have to do that?
Oh, absolutely.
All the time.
It takes so much pressure off. It's no different. I love rally driving. And my business partner, David, explained it to me like this, because I was saying, I've taken the back seat of the bus in the bus. It's like, no. It's more like a rally car experience. You have the rally driver who's driving, and you have the person sitting next to him telling him there's a left corner coming, there's a right corner, go fast, go slow, there's a sharp turn left, 20 degree, whatever. He's like, go a little bit slow, go fast, go fast. There's constantly something in the rally driver's ear telling him, sitting right next to him, telling him, this is where we're going, looking here, going there. He's looking at the map, and the rally driver is just taking instructions. He's just going, he's just gunning, and he's fixated. He's just, all right, we're going to get there. Whereas the other person, he's got his own thinking, he's got his map, we start here, we finish there, okay, left here, right there, and this it plays out perfectly. And that's how I see this relationship turning out in business as well. You're going to have people who know where they're going, and you're going to get a lot of people who's going to help you get there. And it's just whether or not you as a visionary, as a leader, are able to articulate that in a way that inspires them. And I think maybe we should cover this in another episode where we can dive deeper in terms of, we've covered it with Simon Sinek, Start With Why, but I think we can go deeper on this in the conversational level.
I really do. And I think especially around being obsessed around leadership, being obsessed around, one thing I'm really obsessed around right now is building teams that believe what I believe. So yeah, totally, it's all why stuff, but the stuff I'm doing right now, I literally just hired a new accounts person. And wow balls, this person, it is her purpose on this planet to do accounts for me. She is she believes what I believe. She's just, honestly, I'm still pinching myself that this person exists. And in my head, I'm like, really? Someone can be that passionate about this particular job that I actually find to be quite draining?
Yeah.
She's nutballs passionate about her new, she's nutballs passionate, right? And so for me, I'd love to go deeper on this and also maybe even go deeper on the integrator and the visionary, and we can share a little bit with people around our own experiences, our own growth.
Let's do that.
So our listeners can actually really learn and maybe hopefully avoid some of the stuff that we've been challenged with because we didn't know this, and some of the growth journey. Does that sound like a pretty cool next episode, people?
I think that is going to be an amazing episode, delivered in the same amount of excitement that we've had there. This was just amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And,
love you lots. Love everybody lots.
Ciao, ciao. Until next time.
You've been listening to Marketing with Vino. If you enjoyed this episode and want to access the resources discussed in this episode, go to marketingwithvino.com and select which episode you've listened to.